Estamos en vivo.
This is the city of the sun.
El Paso, Texas. Live in Dallas. Fashion.
Yeah.
Icons.
Chuco Town, Chuco Town.
Artists.
Come on, come on. Yeah, yeah.
Food. Sports.
Chuco Town, Chuco Town, Chuco Town.
Y mucho más.
Come on, yeah, yeah. Chuco Town.
Different is what we do. Live and talented.
Get discovered, get exposure, and play at the next level. Prep One. Follow us on all social media platforms.
The catwalk, the photos, the lights, the camera, the action. Get on your prime and begin training today. Register at letstudio.com and become a Halo model.
Good evening, El Paso. Welcome to another episode of Live and Talented. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited to be here tonight because we have icons. And icons, we bring people from all over the world to inspire everybody at home. And for tonight's special guest, we have Marcelo Balboa, who is an American retired soccer defender who played in the 1990s for the US national team as their captain. He also played in 3 FIFA World Cups, and he played for León in the Mexican League and for Colorado Rapids. Balboa was named to the MLS All-Time Best 11 and elected to the National Soccer Hall of Fame. After retiring, Balboa is now working as a commentator for ESPN, ABC, MLS games, as well as FIFA World Cup games on Univision. So he's definitely a soccer legend, and we have him here at Live and Talented. So let's go ahead and kick it right off with Tony Aleman and Mr. Balboa.
Hey El Paso, welcome to another episode of Icons. And it's been a minute since we've seen you guys, and we have another special guest from around the world. But this time, he's a huge Hall of Famer, a big star all around the world. He's a U.S. men's national soccer player that is now a Hall of Famer. Played with the U.S. national team for many years, grew up in California, and now living in Colorado, living the life. We want to learn more about him. So are you guys ready for Marcelo Balboa? How are you, Marcelo?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you for taking the time, taking this interview.
No problem. Anytime.
I got a glimpse of you in the last CONCACAF Nations League final. And so I know you're obviously rooting for the U.S. national team, so congratulations. That was an awesome game.
How could you tell?
How could you tell? I was wondering, how many of those do you got? Did you save all of them?
When I started playing and realizing the jersey swaps and stuff like that, you end up collecting quite a few jerseys. So I've played, I think, officially 128 games. So I probably have, between club games and practice with the national team, because we didn't always play national team games. Sometimes we played against Fiorentina as a national team. I think I collected somewhere around 150, 180 jerseys. So, and I keep the special ones that I played with in the World Cups. I've got 3 of those, and one goes to each kid. So every kid has their jersey now.
Well, that's cool. Well, that's precisely where I'm going to head to. I want everybody to know a little bit of depth of Marcelo Balboa. Where did you grow up? Where were you born? Your ethnicity? Give us a little bit of background real quick before we start.
I am an American Argentine, or an Argentine American, any way you want to go with it. Yeah. My dad is Argentinian. He came from Argentina in 1965 to play professional soccer in Chicago. So we came here, we were born here, we went back to Argentina for 3 years, and then went back, and he played semi-pro in California. So California has been pretty much where I grew up since I was probably 5 years old until God, 19. I finished high school, went to a junior college, and then from there I went to San Diego State. From San Diego State, I left a year early, didn't graduate. I left to sign a professional contract to play in the '90 World Cup. So it's been a whirlwind since basically '89.
Man, you've had quite a ride. I'm a huge fan. So when the men's national team was kind of in the hot spot, 1990, 1994, I was middle school and high school, and you and Alexi Lalas were kind of like my idols, man. I was playing ball for high school and then club ball, so you and Alexi Lalas were everything to me. So it's huge honor to have this interview with you.
No,
so
I appreciate it. It was it's been a good ride, man. We had to. People don't realize the sacrifices we had to make. We used to fly all the time. We'd fly coach. We'd have to get on the earliest flight possible to make sure there was enough seats for all of us. We didn't have chartered flights when we started. We didn't have these, 5-star hotels when we started playing. We were staying in much smaller hotels. So, I think we did everything we did is because it was something that we loved to do. It wasn't a part-time job. It wasn't it's how do we make a living out of playing soccer when there was no professional soccer in the 90s for us.
Yeah. Well, you guys were the pioneers, to say the least.
I don't like pioneers because what happened to the pioneers? People keep saying that. The pioneers got killed. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure I like the pioneer.
You don't want to be the pioneer.
No.
You were one of the first that broke barriers for the soccer industry.
I like that. We were one of the first. We'll go with that.
Definitely one of the first. And you know what? I was big into soccer at an early age. When I got to high school and the MLS started, everybody knew me as that little Mexican kid that loved soccer. And so they were like always asking, who's your team? And all these teams were popping up in the MLS. And I knew very little. The only people that I knew were really Tony Meola, Marcelo Balboa, and Alexi Lalas. Those are the three players that I knew that I was like, I don't know if I'm a fan of.
Well, it's because we had screwed up hair. Lexi with the bright red goatee and the big hair. I had the mullet going on. Tony had the ponytail, so we were easy to remember. But listen, I was in the same boat. I graduated in '85, and when I played in high school, people kind of laughed, like, what's soccer? Soccer wasn't a big thing in the high school. We won our league 4 years in a row. But you know what? People just didn't. Soccer wasn't a huge thing. But I also played football. I played baseball in high school.
Okay.
And but here's the deal. My dad at 14 said, you know what? At one point, you gotta narrow down what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, you can't play all of them and just play. There's got to be one that has a little bit more. You have a little bit more heart to, a little bit more passion to. Baseball was fun, but it was boring. And I love baseball. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But I used to sit on first base. They used to put me out in center field. No, we never got the ball in the outfield. So I just
looking at grasshoppers.
Yeah, I never really had a passion for it. I love watching it. I love my Cubs, but I just didn't have a passion. Football was fun, but I got side smacked in as I was playing free safety one game as a freshman. And I thought to myself, all right, I can't tackle anybody. I can't 2-foot anybody. I can't see anybody with this damn helmet on. What am I doing here? So soccer just had it for me. It just, every day I wanted to go out and play it. Every day I wanted to do something with that. So it kind of just fell into my lap. The passion for me was soccer. And I wasn't the best soccer player at the time, but I ran my ass off. I fought, I scratched, I practiced, and little by little it came together.
People knew you back and we're going to get into your career now. You were known as that hardcore defender, aggressive. Well, we call in Mexico el machete.
Yep.
You were that guy, man.
Yeah,
you were that guy. Where did that come? Is that because you were the younger brother?
No. My dad made it clear a long time ago that you win your starting spot in practice and you keep it in the games. And we were always taught someone's always going to come after your job. Somebody always wants your job. There are kids out there. There are other professional players that want to be in the position you in. They're going to come after you. So protect it with everything. So I just learned to tackle hard. That was one of my strengths. I was good in the air. So I stuck to my strengths. I didn't try to go out of my box. I didn't try to go out and do things that I normally don't do. And that's like dribble to my left and pass with my left. That wasn't my strength. So I worked on my strengths, and little by little, I worked on my weaknesses without anybody knowing. I would never, and if you watch warm-ups and stuff, I would never shy away from putting the ball to my left and hitting it. So my dad made it clear, man. He goes, play hard. Listen, they wrote an article, and it was Paul Gardner. I'll never forget. We played against Olympia, and accidentally the guy went in. I tackled, I got the ball, I went through the ball. Come to find out after the game, I broke his leg. And after a while, this guy, Paul Gardner, wrote an article about me. And at that time, I was flying high, I was starting, I was the captain. And he wrote an article that just, and I don't even know how to, it got to me. Because he said I played angry. He said I played angry, and he's never seen anybody play angry like I play in a soccer game, that I was going to self-destruct. And, for some reason, I kind of let that affect me a little bit because I overthought it. I'm like, well, I'm not out to hurt anybody. I'm out there to play hard. So I started, and I caught myself changing my game a little bit. And the worst thing I've ever done. Worst thing I've ever done is go away from what I do best, because I listened to a reporter. And little by little, I got my game back. And but that certain times and certain articles sometimes get you, and you wonder why. So next time I saw him, I agreed with him. I said, I do play angry. And I explained to him why I played angry. And I told him why I played like that. Yeah. Because if you're going to come take my position, you're going to have to earn it from me. I'm not giving you anything. Exactly. And he understood, but it was still one of those articles. I can remember that's the one article in my career that kind of affected me a little bit.
Man, I'm going to tell you that in soccer, there's something that coaches have always told me, and now me as a club coach, continue to tell my kids, when you kick a PK, don't change it up. Do what you do best. Kick it to the same side, place it. It doesn't matter. The keeper's still going to start in the middle, no matter what.
But we have a natural ability to want to please people. When you play a sport, you want to please people. You want people to like you. You want people to say, oh, what a good player he is. So sometimes in life, listen, no kid's going to go through his whole life without a doubt in his game. They're always going to have a doubt in their game, but it's not about having a doubt. It's believing in what you do best. When you start changing your game for other people is when all of a sudden you lose yourself, and you can't do that. So, and it took me as an adult, it took me about 80 something odd games to realize that one article shouldn't affect me because, I want to please, I want the fans to like me, I want this. And it shouldn't be about that. It should be about the game and making yourself better, getting better every game. But I let it affect me. So, and it took me a little while to get it back.
I'm glad to mess it. I'm glad you're talking about this. I have both of my oldest boys here. In fact, Christian, come over here. He's actually producing. I'm gonna put him on camera real quick. He plays college ball. He's in Indiana. He's center D. He plays your spot, and he's 6'2". I think you're about 6'1".
He can't play my spot. He doesn't have good enough hair.
The hair.
You gotta have better. Ask Lexi. You gotta have better hair to be a center back.
Well, he's my center D. Come here, Julian. This is my forward. Hi.
You have big kids over there, man. What are you playing?
Yeah, he's a 14-year-old. He plays with the local academy here, Locomotive Academy. Starting forward.
Oh, you guys came out to Colorado a few weeks ago.
We were there. We were at the.
We recruit. We saw a few that we'd like to bring to Colorado, so we'll talk after.
Absolutely.
I'm serious.
All right.
There's a few kids we saw from Locomotive that were quite interesting to us.
Yeah. All right, Marcelo. I'm going to talk about real quick the barriers. You graduated from Cerritos High School. You did Cerritos College, the JUCO there.
Yep.
Give us, just because obviously I have my boys here, and I've coached high school level as well for 8 years here at Ballard High School. How did the transition happen from JUCO to San Diego?
So I thought, okay, let me go to JUCO. I knew the coach there. He was my high school coach. He took the job over at Cerritos Junior College, and he got me in, played there. It gave me somewhere to play before the Youth World Cup in Chile in 1987. So after the 87 World Cup, San Diego State saw me play and were like, well, what's the school situation? I'm like, well, I sent them all my transcripts from junior college. And the same thing, I fell 3 units short to go to San Diego State. The only plus side was that they had a summer course that was 3 weeks long. So I had to go to school 3 weeks early to be able to get the 3 units to be able to play. So packed up my car and went to San Diego State. They gave me a full ride. I went to class 3 weeks before preseason, passed the class, and was able to play at San Diego State.
Wow.
So, but for me, the best thing I did was go to a junior college, because I wouldn't have been ready to go to UCLA. I wouldn't have been ready to go to San Diego State straight in. My study habits were not good. Just being honest with you, not you know what I mean. And it was I would have struggled. So going to Cerritos kind of made me have to manage my time, and that's what kids don't understand, between practices and getting my study done, and also trying to get everything done with traveling with the under 20s. So I think that's what kind of got me through. Listen, I didn't graduate. I left San Diego State with like Eric Winaldo. We both left in our senior year. I went there for basically a year and a half, and the U.S. national team came up and said, we're giving everybody full-time contracts to play in the 90 World Cup. You have a choice. You can stay in school or and maybe make the World Cup team, or you sign a contract, you're on the national team, and there's a 99.9 chance that you're going to play in a World Cup. So that was an easy decision for me. I'm like, school, dream come true. Don't care about school at that time. So it was, listen, it's taken me 32 years, man. 32 years, but I finally graduated college. At the end of 2020, I finally graduated online, and I got my degree. So, but it took me that long, and I promised the San Diego State coach, his wife, because she always said, if you leave, you got to finish. So it took me 32 years, but I finally got my degree.
Good job, Marcelo. Good job. My hat off to you, brother. Marcelo, it's time to talk a little bit of your soccer career in the big leagues. We learned a lot of your background and how you got to this point. Give us a little bit of depth on just your the start of your pro soccer career. Who did you play for first before the MLS? Was there a soccer league?
Oh, I played everywhere, man. I played for the San Francisco Bay Blackhawks, which was basically the top amateur league, because we didn't have a pro league at the time. From there, I won a championship with the Blackhawks, and then got bought by the Colorado Foxes, which I think was the Western Soccer Alliance at the time. So I played Blackhawks, Foxes. From there, I went to Leon after the '94 World Cup. But before that, I played for Olympiacos in Greece for about a month, and didn't work out with a contract. So, and then from there, MLS started in '96, came back, and always played pretty much 6 years with the Colorado Rapids. And then in my last year, I got traded to the New York Metro Stars.
Metro Stars. What was the biggest obstacle in the MLS? I mean, you played for Colorado Rapids several years, or what, 6, 7 years?
7 years.
What was your biggest barrier in the MLS?
It's tough because
you had already broken through. I mean, your breakthrough was done.
We broke through. The problem was, it wasn't about the soccer part. It was trying to get people to buy into professional soccer in the United States, because they kept on comparing what they just saw in the '94 World Cup to club soccer. So it was tough trying to get people to understand this is a new league. It's going to take time. So, and little by little, you can see that the foundation was laid right. I think we did a lot of things well for not having the money that they have now. I think by the time most of us retired, that '94, that '98 group, we left the league on a pretty solid foundation. And now look at it now. Teams have their own stadiums. You're packing stadiums in. Look at Austin, just got their stadium. Yeah. So I think the MLS is in good hands, but a lot of sacrifice with the guys that started in this league. Not just the American guys. There was the Echeverries, the Valderramas that came back, the Jaime Morenos that came back, the Cienfuegos. because I could have easily stayed in Mexico. Tab could have easily stayed in Spain. So Mike Sorber could have stayed in Mexico. A lot of guys could have stayed where they were. Harksey could have stayed in Europe. So, I think the sacrifices they made to help this league start and to put it on a good foundation so it can keep growing, there's a lot of people to thank for that.
Your accolades, your highlights. Before I go into that, I want to roll this video to everybody at home, known as one of the best goals maybe in the history of the MLS. But let's watch this bicycle kick real quick.
A go-go. Lippard. Able to get a cross off. Balboa with the bike. Oh my! That's got to be the goal of the year. We'll call it now. A go-go. Lippard. Able to get a cross off. Balboa with the bike. Oh my! That's got to be the goal of the year. We'll call it now.
You have got to be kidding me. Marcelo Balboa with the bicycle kick. In the opening moments of the second half off the Lippard cross.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is not all. Stay tuned, but for now, we have to give a huge thanks and a shout out to our sponsors of the night.
Business owners note that location is key. Look no further. Loop 10 Business Park is ready with top-notch retail space. Set in the corner of Rojas and Joe Battle, the busiest highway intersection in El Paso. This area funnels thousands of vehicles every hour to all quadrants of the city. Your business endeavors should be noticed, and all characteristics of a successful business plan start here. Become an owner and never rent together. We have accessible pricing and the deal of the century. This is the American dream. Call now for more information.
When a special ability comes naturally, we must nurture it and let it shine. The artistic division at LAT Studio has been developing models and actors for the past 10 years. Models train on real production sets and parade multiple runway shows. Our acting course offers a spring and fall semester for both kids and adults. Come live your dreams under the lights, the camera, and the action. Register online at latstudio.com to try any of our 3 artistic courses absolutely free. Or call us today, east side off Pelicano or west side off Rem.
It's time to reinvent yourself, and what better than to help your community get stronger and healthier? Freedom Academy has a short and quick career paths in the medical field. Get started with courses in phlebotomy, EKG tech, and certified nurse's assistant. Freedom Academy paves a road for a new journey with satisfaction. Call now to enroll.
Dance El Paso, let's dance! LAT Studio offers the ultimate dance experience in both East and West Side, with classes in ballet, jazz, and hip-hop. Dance is one of the best ways for kids to channel that boundless energy after school. And if you really want to get serious, you can also join one of our competitive dance teams. Register online at latstudio.com and receive your first month absolutely free. Or call us today, east side off Pelicano or west side off Remcon. See you there.
That's ridiculous.
Not bad for a defender, right?
No, for a defender. And you know what? You were talking about, how your dad, kind of pushed you to, to do this extra and find a committed, sport. Not only can you defend, man, that you can attack. It's a little uncommon. Aside from Jorge Campos back in the day being a forward and a keeper, hey, you were doing it both ways too, man. Good job.
Yeah, it was, my dad made it clear when I was in high school that if you're going to be a defender, you just can't defend. You got to be able to be dangerous on set pieces, on corners. So, and the weird thing about that goal is I got knocked out in the first half, I believe, of that game. I got a concussion. I got hit in the back of the head. I got knocked out, and he basically said, "You're done." And I supposedly told him that if he took me out the field, I would kill him. So that's what he told me. And he's like, "Fine, I'll watch you play." So I don't remember that goal. I don't remember that. There's a few games in that from all the concussions that I don't remember that game.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you without watching the tape, I couldn't tell you 1 second of that game.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
Yep.
Do you remember the bicycle kick? Do you remember that?
I didn't remember the bicycle kick, to be honest with you. I kept on telling the story. I think I said at halftime, and that's how much I remembered of it. It was in the second half, supposedly, I think I scored that game and that goal. So I don't remember anything of it. My roommate told me I scored a goal. I walked in the room and he's like, "Your goal's on TV." And I'm like, "What goal?" And he's like, "Look." And it was the top play on ESPN, top 10.
The run in the MLS for you, has been, and I'm biased because I'm a fan, has been one of the best. You and Alexi Lalas, like I said, were two of my favorite. Aside from the MLS, you name a few other accolades, a few other highlights that you've had. Post. Did you do the 98 World Cup as well, right?
Yeah, I played in 98. Well, I was on the team. Well, Samson was the coach, and Samson, for some reason, had a little bit of an issue with me. So when he needed me in qualifying, when we went to Mexico and tied Mexico 0-0, that needed a point, when he needed me to play against Costa Rica and get a result at home, and he just didn't, it was weird because we went and played, I think it was Costa Rica and Portland, I think it was. And Preki goes down the wing, cuts the ball back. I come and I lay a ball, just a nice ball to Tab's right foot. Tab shoots, scores. We win 1-0, and we're closer to qualifying. He came out in the paper and said, "Yeah, what a great play by Preki. I don't know who laid the ball off, but Tab's." I'm sitting there going,
wow, okay. Totally disregarded.
Yeah, it was.
There was some,
and I think it was because I was, Bora took a chance on me in the '94 World Cup. I tore my ACL in '93, and about 10 months before the World Cup, and all the other coaches wrote me off. They basically told me that I wasn't, that why should, and I, the sad part is I overheard them talking about we should get rid of Marcelo. He's not going to make it back in time. So it broke my heart, but I'm like, F you. That's fine. You want to play that game like that? Fine, let's go. So without Fernando Clavijo, God rest his soul, who passed away, who was like a second father to me, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have made it back. So he got me up out of bed every day. Because when you tear your ACL and you go through a big injury, you have a little bit of you hit this depression where you don't think you're going to make it back. You're mentally in a horrible place. And Fernando and some of my teammates, but Fernando especially, pulled me out of it. And when I heard that about one or two of the coaches didn't want me, I kicked in. I trained in the morning on my bike. I trained in the afternoon up in the mountains on my bike. Everything was mountain biking to put no stress on the knee, but I could build the muscles up quicker. So back then, surgery and playing time, we were about 12 months out. I was ready to play in a game, back on the field training within 4.5 months, ready to play in a game in 6.5 months. And Bora wouldn't play me. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, so I worked hard enough to get to this point. I'll make the World Cup team, but I probably won't play. And that pissed me off more than anything. And I was wondering why Bora wouldn't play me. And well, we're going to turf. You can't play on turf with that. It's not worth it. And I didn't understand, what his philosophy was, because he never sat down and told me. He saw how hard I was working and he wasn't going to stop that. So we get to Detroit, and the night before the game, he does this. We go to the Silverdome, and Bora was very good at putting motivational videos. So we walk out there, we all hold hands, we walk out to the middle of the field, from the goal to the middle of the field, and the Jumbotron's up there. and Boy plays this incredible video that just gets everybody motivated. And as we're leaving, that night, he pulls me aside and says, in Spanish, just tell me all the things. And I just want you to know you're starting tomorrow. And I was like, okay. I'm like, it didn't really sink in.
Yeah.
But it, again, people that want to see you fail motivate you to be successful.
Absolutely.
And to this day, one of the coaches I've never seen before, Samson held it against me in the '98 World Cup, which is fine. It's his choice. But when he needed certain older players, for some reason we got put in the game. So it is what it is. But I made it back from an ACL in basically 6 months to play in a World Cup.
That's incredible. You took it to heart and you took it personally. You got to it.
I had to prove people wrong. I've always had to prove people wrong my whole career, that people didn't think that I was good enough. Even players that played my position, Marcelo's not that good. That's great. You know what? Come take it from me. That was my philosophy. Come take it from me. You work harder than me, then come get it. No one worked harder than that group of 90 and 94. We worked. We had hardly any resources, anything. And we worked and worked and worked to get to where we're at. So hard work does pay off.
Absolutely. So, all right, Marcelo, we're down to the last part of our interview. Okay. I just want to talk about your goals and upcoming, projects. I know you've been working with Univision. You're now a commentator there. Are you still doing ESPN? Have you done ESPN? What do you do now?
No. After I think it was the 2006 World Cup, 2010, I got an opportunity to do some radio in Spanish, and I started enjoying the Spanish side a little bit more. So that's when I got picked up a few years ago in the World Cup in Brazil. I got picked up by Univision. Yeah. So I've been doing MLS. I've been doing all the national team games for Univision. So I get to do some Liga MX games, which is fun for me. So I do that. I also do the Rapids TV. I'm their broadcaster here in Colorado. I also have the U14 Colorado Rapids Academy, my 14 boys. So that's what I'm doing. You know what? I'm a simple guy. I enjoy what I do. And if you have a passion for it, it's not even a job. So that's the way I look at it. And then I try to do stupid things around the house, like paint and change my floors, which never turn out the way I want them to, but I try.
All right, Marcelo, we're going to finish our interview, and we're going to play a quick, small little game called This or That. Are you cool with that?
All right. Yep.
All right, here we go. We're going to start off easy, okay? All right, cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Okay.
But I do like tea, don't get me wrong, because I drink mate. So that's a toss-up. People don't know mate's tea, so I got to go both.
Okay, all right. Well, this is, all right, Bieber or One Direction?
I hate to say it, but I'm gonna go with Justin Bieber. I would say Backstreet Boys. Have you had that? I saw them. I went to their concert when I just got here to Colorado. So I'd go Backstreet Boys. Backstreet Boys.
Okay, we'll go with Backstreet Boys then. All right, morning or nighttime?
Oof. I go to bed late and I wake up early, so I don't know how to answer that. I go to bed at midnight and I wake up at 5 o'clock to go for a hike with my dog. So I don't both.
Both?
Yeah.
All right.
As long as I get 5 hours somewhere, I'm good.
All right. Movies or books?
Movies? Are you kidding me?
You're like, I never liked school.
Exactly. I'm like, no, movies.
T-shirts or tank tops?
Oh, T-shirt.
All right. Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday, because it's game day.
Hey, there we go. Shoes or flip-flops?
Oh, flip-flop.
New York or Los Angeles?
LA.
Yeah. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Yeah. Apples or oranges?
Ooh, you can't do that because I like both.
Okay. Comedy or action?
Action.
Sunrise or sunset?
Both.
All right, here we go. Soccer. Ronaldo or Messi?
Really? You're really going to ask that to an Argentinian? Really? Come on.
From
Come on.
Argentina.
Oh, my Lord. Please. Maradona. You want to go Messi?
Maradona.
All the band. I'm not going Ronaldo. So
All
sorry.
right, Messi all the way.
Yeah.
All right, this is a simple one, but I know what your answer is going to be. A 40-yard free kick or a bicycle kick?
You know, I've hit a bicycle kick, but I don't think. I've hit a 40-yard free kick, so I'll go bicycle kick. I'll go bicycle kick.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to go with the bicycle. I mean,
Yeah.
that's iconic, man. La Liga or Serie A?
La Liga.
La Liga. The Mexican League or the Premier League?
Liga MX, man. Liga MX. I love my Liga MX. I love my Liga MX.
All right. I thought you were going to go the other way. I was like, oh, yeah, but he played in Leon.
Well, listen, I love European soccer. I do, but watching the Mexican League, unless you watch it live, people are like, oh, it looks slow on TV. And when you're actually seeing it live, it is fast. It is technical. And plus we have a rivalry with Liga MX. I played in Liga MX. So I listen, I love European soccer. I got my Chelsea jersey because my son gave it to me. But I love Liga MX.
Nah. All right. Chivas or America?
Neither. Leon, please.
Leon.
Leon, please.
Wait, but before you played there.
I have a kid whose dad is an America fan, and Leon beat him a year and a half ago to win the title. I laughed. I'm like, you know what? Before, I think when you do that, everybody loves either America or Chivas. So I was always, because in your head, you think to yourself, I would love to play for one of those teams. And then you realize Chivas doesn't take foreigners. So I was like, okay, well, I love America because they take foreigners.
He's like,
I knew I had a chance to play for America one
Exactly.
day. I never had a chance to play for Chivas.
Exactly. Adidas or Nike cleats?
Both, because I was sponsored by both.
Okay.
When we started with the national team, it was Adidas. We wear the Copas. They were some of the best shoes, kangaroo leather. They were spectacular.
Yeah.
And then we rolled over to Nike, and the gear, everything they did was spectacular. So they were both fantastic.
Retro Rapids jerseys or the new Rapids jersey?
Oh, retro.
The green with the wave?
Yep, retro.
Retro for sure. Morning games or night games?
Night games. Morning games suck. They break your routine. You get into a routine of sleeping in, you go for a walk, you do breakfast, you have a routine.
Well, Marcelo, I'm gonna get to my last question, and we'll call it a day. The World Cup U20 versus the World Cup in '94.
So it's tough. You can't comparing an under 20 to a 94. Playing in a World Cup is special enough, but being able to play a World Cup in your own home, it was just electric. I've never seen every game sold out, packed, trying to figure out what this World Cup was about. And again, it's interesting to listen. For me, it's interesting because you don't really realize, as a kid, you think, oh, the world champions in baseball, the world champions in basketball. And as you get older, you start realizing they're not world champions. They're champions. They're the United States champions. They don't play anybody else. The World Cup is the biggest tournament in the world. The biggest tournament in the world that is watched by millions of people, everybody from another part of the world. So that's when you realize the magnitude that you're in. The under 20 was a learning experience because you didn't know what a tournament was like in a World Cup. The 90 World Cup was an experience because we thought we were ready, not even close to being ready. When you get to a World Cup in your home and you realize the magnitude of what it does to people, how many people come to watch this game, they watch it on TV. And just the other day, we did Nations League game, okay? Just imagine this, Nations League game, USA, Mexico, first time tournament. With Univision, we had 4.2 million people watch that game on our TV.
God,
imagine what people are watching, what the ratings are in a World Cup final.
Yeah. Oh, ridiculous. Billions.
Yeah, exactly.
In the billions.
So,
Absolutely.
So.
Well, you definitely have a lot to teach and a lot to inspire many kids out there and adults. You're an amazing human being, Marcelo. Thank you for giving us this time.
I appreciate it.
And hopefully one day we can go visit with the locomotive out in Denver. And
Come on out.
you know, I love that place. I've never been, and it's beautiful. I mean, the outdoors is just amazing.
Yep.
I was telling you earlier that I went out to Golden, and I got the Coors Light factory that's there.
Yeah.
And I was really amazed. But it's a gorgeous place. Thank you so much. Anything you'd like to say to your fans?
No, listen, one, thank you for having me. Sorry it took a little time for us to get connected. And like anything else, you know what? Life is short, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Be kind, be thankful, be sincere. And if you have a dream, go for it. Don't use an excuse that I can't today or it's this. We fight life. Life is difficult as it is.
Absolutely. Great words. Thank you so much for your wisdom, for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our time with Marcelo Balboa. We hope you guys enjoyed it and learned something and get inspired. And with the Hall of Famer, man, I'm amazed. You guys have an amazing day. I'll see you guys next time. This is Live and Talented Icons.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Balboa, thank you so much. He is such a huge soccer legend, and we really appreciate you being here tonight. Everybody at home, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Live and Talented, and click the bell so you don't miss another live episode. And we will see you here next Saturday.
Crack Futbolero is the latest soccer trend in the 915. Contact us on Facebook or Instagram to get your gear today.
Baila El Paso Baila. LAT Studio offers a full dance division with jazz, hip hop, ballet, and contemporary. Visit latstudio.com today.